Yo, what is good people? I know this is Wednesday night. This is not a norm for me. Don't get me wrong, and this is absolutely impromptu as well, because I don't know. I've been hearing more and more about this Chris Claremont panel that was at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, which is what I went to last weekend. And I didn't know about the panel. I didn't even know he was doing a panel. I did meet Chris Claremont. That was pretty cool. And I just a lot of people keep talking about this this panel that he did and how he's spoiling things or how he has spoiled things, but there's no context to like actually what happened. At least the videos that I've seen from like decent sized YouTubers, and there's been no video to actually just put things into like context as like how he's asking things, how he's saying things. And I kind of wanted to like, first of all, I really just wanted to talk to like other nerds about this and like get y'all's opinion on it and whatnot like that. But also I wanted to like show some of the video because there is a video out there on YouTube. We're going to give credit to CNA TV. They're on YouTube. They apparently were at the convention. It looks like because they look like they streamed several panels out there. And goodness, my phone's going off. And so I like I said, I wasn't there. I didn't do any video or anything like that. I just want to help put context to all this kind of stuff because I feel like a lot of people are not necessarily watching the video or seeing like what actually happened. So I want to share the video if I can, and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about his mannerisms. I want to talk about the things he's saying and whatnot like that. And of course, like, yes, I do want to speculate a little bit because honestly, that's fun for me. That is fun for me to sit there and talk about things that could or could not happen, or like stuff that I would like or want to see. And it's just like, like I'm a fan of the NBA. Like when it starts come trade time season, I like talking about like who could end up where and things like that. So it's a lot like that, if you understand what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and let's start watching some of this. I'm going to pause it as I got things to say and to elaborate on and whatnot like that. And so, like I said, CNA TV, this is on their channel. They recorded it. This is all their stuff. This is not from me at all. So I just want to give credit where credit is due. So let's go ahead and let's pull up the video if I can. Here we go. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start playing a little part of this. He was giving kind of like, he was talking about a story with Wolverine and Kitty Pryde right before this clip, and just talking about the story and the story mindset. And then we get to this right here. He just kind of just stops, and then he starts asking this.
I'm sorry, has anyone seen the commercial for the 50 superhero, 4 supervillain not X-Men movie? Almost sounds like it. You better believe it. Marvel movie that's in the process, in production now. Doomsday. No. A positive. I mean,
Okay, so if you don't know what he's talking, I mean, I would think we all know what he's talking about here. He's talking about the 50 chair trailer. I think it was like 47 seats or whatever. It's 40 something seats that they put out there. The 5 hour long chair sequence that we got here not long ago. And he's talking about that is what he's talking about. And somebody says Doomsday. He said, no, it's a positive, which that kind of threw me off. And so I don't know if he was actually making a joke about it or not, but he's alluding to the Avengers stuff is what he's alluding to here. So let's keep rolling.
We've got Robert Downey Jr. playing evil person, Iron Man. Wait, that's confusing. And then,
so when he says, "Wait a minute, that's confusing," to me, he's talking about the story part of it. That can be confusing. The fact that you've got the same character that you've had for however long, which is what people have talked about before. Is it going to be confusing or not? He's saying, like, to him, like, he thinks that is confusing.
He's playing two other roles. I used to know that. But then Chris.
That's interesting, though. He says he's playing two other roles. Is he thinking of somebody else in his head, or is he talking about Robert Downey Jr.? Like, in my mind, and I think a lot of people's that are talking about this, he's talking about Robert Downey Jr. because that just kind of flows better, is what it, as far as like as far as talking, which apparently I can't do this evening. However, if he's thinking in his head as he's talking or whatever, sometimes some people will sit there and think of something, think they said it, and they didn't. So I think there's two ways to kind of look at it. Considering how much Robert Downey Jr. is getting paid for this, to do like both movies anyways, like I could totally see him doing more than one character. Or at least, doing Doom, and then bringing like an alternate version of Iron Man back. But outside of that, I don't know that I see him necessarily doing another character on top of that. So I'd be curious. What anybody else thought as far as like him doing another character outside of Doom and just straight up Iron Man. Let's say hello to Jonathan. Jonathan's in the chat. What's going on, homie? Thank you for coming out. Appreciate you. All right, let's look at who else he's talking about here.
Evans is playing Captain America, young Captain America, evil Captain America, and Captain Hydra, or something, that Lord Hydra, whatever that. It's like, what the? Why did they just cast the Avengers, the original Avengers, as all the characters, villains, assistants, sidekicks? Yeah. Apparently.
Okay, I want to stop right there because he's about to drop something else. But he sits there and he says that Chris Evans is playing, Captain America, young Captain America, an evil Captain America, and Hydra Captain America. So, like, and we all, like, I think this is where I kind of get to where I'm questioning stuff. To sit there and be like, an evil Captain America and a Hydra Captain America. Like, we all know that should be, like, one and the same, right? And I think that's where he's just kind of thinking off the dome here. Where, like, we did get a young Captain America. That was in Captain America #1. Like, we've gotten that. Now, could we get another young Captain America? Absolutely. But, like, Chris Evans has played a young Captain America. And he's played Captain America. We know that as well. And then the rumor mill has always been, for a while now anyways, that we would get a Hydra Cap. And that, that could be part of, like, Doom's Cabal or something along those lines. So, I don't know if he's, like, heard rumors. I don't know, if he's just kind of playing off of that. Or if it's more of just, like, he actually does know something. Like, I think this could be taken several different ways over. And another thing is that, a rumor was dropped here however long ago that we would be getting Nomad, that Chris Evans would actually be being Nomad. And so could that be possibly the young Captain America he's talking about? I guess it's possible. I don't necessarily know that I see them doing a Steve Rogers Captain America and an Anthony Mackie Captain America in the same movie. I feel like that would that could be cool, but at the same time, like, surely we don't want to take away from Anthony Mackie's Captain America, especially if that's where we're going to be headed, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know. All right, so now this is where he's about to, like, drop something. All right, so let's go ahead and let's listen to this.
After denying it vociferously for at least a year, what's her face is coming back as Widow. Not the Widow.
Scarlet
No, not Scarlett Johansson. What's her face? Who had the giant rock fall on her?
Scarlet Witch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Elizabeth. Scarlet Witch.
President Olsen, right? I mean,
All right, so he's confirming, or he's saying that Elizabeth Olsen's coming back as Scarlet Witch. That's been a rumor for a while as well, is that she'd be coming back. A lot of people have actually rumored that she would actually be a love interest for Doctor Doom in these movies. I don't know that I necessarily believe that, only because I would think they would go, like, especially with them bringing the Fantastic Four in, I would think they would go more the Sue route. And that may be, like, a twist in it, in the sense of, like, if we bring, if she is a lover of Doom, then we get that jilted lover thing where, like, Doom has always wanted Sue. And so he finally gets her, and now Scarlet Witch is pissed, kind of thing. I don't know that they will go that route. I'm just saying, like, that would be the only way I could think that would actually necessarily, like, work. But who am I also? Like, let's be real. So he's got a little bit more to add about the Scarlet Witch, so let's go ahead and let's listen in on that.
So she's coming back not only as Scarlet Witch, but a good Scarlet Witch. So I don't know if that means that the Vision's coming back.
All right, so it's saying that she's going to be coming back as a good Scarlet Witch. I would definitely, like, she seemed to have turned a leaf at the end of Multiverse of Madness, so I wouldn't think that she would come back as an evil person. I would think more or less like this would be a Doom offers her a chance to redeem herself kind of thing. I could see that more than anything else. So let's keep on, because he's got some more to say about some other people that may be coming back.
It's like all the original X-Men are coming back. For 2 weeks, we didn't know if Famke Janssen would come back, but now Famke Janssen is coming back. But she's coming back as Phoenix. It's like...
Okay, so here we go. The original Jean Grey from the trilogy, he's saying that she's coming back, and she's coming back as the Phoenix. That's crazy, honestly. That's crazy. So surely he's not talking about, like, Last Stand. You know what I mean? Like, surely he's not trying to make, like just point back to that movie and make a point. So I know that this actress has not been named yet on a chair anyways, but there's a lot of actors and actresses that have not been named yet on chairs. And it also, I'm going to let him say another part that I want to touch on as well that has to do with continuity.
Oh, goodness sakes. And apparently, Psylocke is coming back, but she's no longer Asian. Still wearing the same outfit. And there's a rumor that Wolverine's going to kill somebody important, which would just... I'm sitting here thinking, why are you going to do this and make us wait for 3 years for the first X-Men movie? Why don't you just make this the first X-Men movie? Come on. Who cares about the Avengers?
Jeez.
It's only been 20 years. Get it right now. Oh, and the FF are coming back. Oh, wait, they're already back. Or will be already back in July. And it'll establish, apparently, the FF will be back, have been back for 3 years when they run into Galactus. And it's like, yeah, but shouldn't he be taller? He's taller in the comic. It's like Godzilla's taller. Gojira is taller. So why did it... Now you know what it's like to deal with Marvel continuity.
Okay, so we just got a lot right there. I felt like it was easier just to go ahead and just let it play, honestly. And I want to talk about Jean and Marvel continuity real quick, because if we're looking at the old Fox movies, like, Jean dies along with a lot of other people in X-Men: The Last Stand. However, Days of Future Past looks like it retconned that and brought Scott and Jean and everybody else back and Logan back and whatnot like that. However, if they're going to do that, then surely that means that Logan's in a new timeline at that point in time, right? Because that's how Marvel does timelines, is it makes a branch. So there's that aspect of it. You could go down that road of it's that X-Men team. However, you could also go down the road of it's the like Sophie Turner, not John Malkovich. What's that guy's name that played Professor X? I can't remember his name now. He played in Split. John McAvoy. Yeah, John McAvoy. I believe that's his name. You could go down the road it's that X-Men team, but older, because in Dark Phoenix, Sophie Turner's Jean takes off as the Phoenix, and that's how they end the movie. Essentially, Scott's still alive. We had Nightcrawler in that one as well, or at least in that run as well. So, and that all these X-Men that are coming back, they're actually older versions of that team of X-Men. So there's different ways that they could play this as far as that goes, and that would, there was no real Wolverine in that timeline of X-Men either. Speaking of Wolverine, he mentions that Wolverine, it's rumored, he said it's rumored, that Wolverine kills somebody. I have not heard that at all. I've not heard, we've only seen Wolverine, like, kill, I guess, really in the Logan movie. And then, he killed Jean in the Dark Phoenix, or not the Dark Phoenix, but the Last Stand movie. So, is he possibly going to kill Jean again? I speculate that if he was to kill somebody that would be very important, the only person I know that could be of any importance right now in the MCU would be Loki. But, like, stringing that story on, that would be crazy. You know what I mean? Like, for Wolverine to kill Loki off, that'd be crazy. So there's that. He said something about Psylocke was coming back. Pardon me. And that she was not going to be Asian. She was going to have the same outfit, though. Like, that's very reminiscent of Olivia Munn as Psylocke in the Apocalypse movie. So I know her name has not been mentioned yet. But could it be? Could it be her? Is that what they're going to do, is bring her back in like a cameo type thing? And another question floating around is like, why? Like, how would Chris know all this stuff? Like, why would he even know all this stuff? Like, production just started, you know what I mean? And filming just started like the other day. And so I think it has more to do with the fact of like maybe them bringing him in to like get tips or get advice on like what these X-Men would do, how they would act, what they would say, things like that. Is how I think if any of this is true, if what Chris is saying is true, if any of that is true, I think that's what it would be. It would be, he was in some kind of talks to sit there and give advice and give counsel as far as like what the X-Men, would do, would say, things like that. So I don't, and I also want, like, you see a lot of his frustrations when he's talking about this, and he's building up to that continuity point of like the writing of it and stuff like that, and just the lore and the story and whatnot. So he talked about the FF. He went back and forth on they were here, they're not here. I feel like he knows some stuff that's going on as far as like with Marvel, and I'm saying like stuff as far as like commercials, things like that, but I feel like some of that stuff is kind of getting mixed up, is what it seems like to me. And so I don't know how much of this I necessarily like. I don't think he's lying, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's lying. He benefits none at all to lie about anything, but at the same time, like, is he just getting confused about something? Because like that's something you have to put out there. You have to sit there and ask yourself, like, is he just getting confused about something? And I kind of wonder that. I just kind of wonder that. So we talked about the Psylocke. We talked about the FF. It's kind of weird that he said something about Galactus' size, because I mean, like, a lot of people are saying something about like, isn't Galactus bigger? and like he does kind of look like a kaiju in the FF trailer and stuff like that. But Galactus can also like change his size at will, so like he does have that ability. I feel like there's something that I'm missing. I just don't know what. All right, that was denying it. Talking about Scarlet Witch coming back. There's all kinds of rumors about Scarlet Witch. We already talked about that. Let's see. What else am I missing? The Phoenix. We talked about that. We talked about Psylocke. Same outfit. Wolverine's going to kill somebody. We talked about that. Yeah, and then he's just excited about getting an X-Men movie out there. So, and he's talking about waiting. So like he knows there's an X-Men movie that's coming, and asking like why isn't all this stuff just in an X-Men movie? Like why not just do an X-Men movie first before doing Doomsday or Secret Wars? It seems like. So I want to, since we're sitting here, we're talking, we're having fun about like what could be and things like that, and just giving more clarity, I think, to this conversation that he was having. I also want to bring up another section that happened on earlier in this meeting. Now, in this video, this started at like the 9-minute mark, so we're gonna move up to about the 3-minute mark. And we're going to listen to some of that right about here. He just got done, at this point in time, he just got done talking about a 5-issue limited series that he wrote for Wolverine that's supposed to be coming out, like, I guess this Wednesday, maybe today. And it's supposed to go all the way up until August. And so that's what he just got done talking about right before I hit play.
Forward to that. And then we'll see what I can, con them into giving me next. Hopefully not another Wolverine series. Not that I don't like him, but I also had something to do with the other members of the X-Men. Other writers get all the fun. I'd like to do a small miniseries, X-Men miniseries, Kurt miniseries. Oh, heck, we could do an Excalibur miniseries. Well, maybe not another 4 years, but that's...
Okay. Did y'all see what he just said? Now, this is pure speculation. Absolutely, positively pure speculation here. But he sits there and he says, he's talking about the series that he could maybe do. And what is it? The I don't even know what this is called. Closed caption sits there and says, do small miniseries. I think it was saying Storm, but we'll just stick with what they said. Small miniseries. I think Storm sounds better though. An X-Men miniseries, and wait, where was I? No. Come on. There you go. X-Men miniseries, a Kurt miniseries, Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler. Oh heck, we could do an Excalibur miniseries. And he says, well, maybe not for another. Stop it. Maybe not for another 4 years, but, and then he stops. That's just keep going till either they'll be back on the book for real. So he's meaning like maybe he'll just keep doing miniseries until he actually gets back on the book for real. So him stopping himself at Excalibur, like, I don't know. Like, could we be getting an Excalibur? Could Marvel be doing that as well? Like, not just in comic books, but like also as like a theatrical thing or a TV show or something like that. I mean, we have Sonya Falsworth. She's picked up Gaia. And I'm not saying that that's, Gaia's going to be a part of the Excalibur team or anything like that. But if we start bringing in mutants and stuff like that, why not? Why not have an Excalibur team? So... And maybe that's what started it all off. Maybe they brought him in not only just to talk about that, but also to talk about Excalibur. So, I don't know. That's really all the stuff that was kind of like going on. He did a lot of like, he took some questions after all that jazz. and just had a fun time with the crowd, it seemed like, and talked a good bit more. Link for this video and this YouTuber, CNA TV, is in the description below. So if you want to watch the full video, please, I encourage you, go watch the full video. Check out his mannerisms. Check out the way that gives context to what he's saying and things like that. And try to get a full understanding of what's going on there and what he's saying. So, yeah, I don't know, fun time to be in comics, fun time to talk about movies finally, I guess, thankfully, since COVID kind of ruined made the downfall going there. But yeah. So if you got anything you want to add, please add it down in the comments below. Hit me up on Instagram if you want to DM and nerd out and talk about this kind of stuff. I love doing that kind of thing. And yeah, appreciate y'all hanging out and watching this. Thank y'all so much as always. Hope y'all have a good one.